judicial season is upon us, even though at the date of filming you can't quite get your petitions filled in yet. But by the time the show does air, you can already get your petitions. You can already sign a petition for people running for judgeships in various areas. And as all of you know, we really like to have as many judicial candidates as possible. We try to get them for you well qualified, or people with good qualifications. They're usually recommended. Our next guest was, definitely fits in with somebody who's got good bar ratings. I'd like to introduce you to a candidate for judge in the 8th Sub-Circuit, Diann Marsalek. Diann, how you doing?
Great, thank you for having me.
First of all, thank you. So, how are you? How is your? Well, you can't do a traditional campaign like get on a soapbox like an alderman or anything like that. So, how are you going about it?
Well, that's true. When you run for judge, we have a lot of restrictions on the things we can and can't do. For instance, we're not allowed to raise money for our campaign, so we have to hire or get a committee together, mostly family friends, to actually go out and try to fundraise for us. We're not allowed to give opinions on matters because those issues may come in front of you while you're a judge sitting, and you can't offer your opinion so people would know how you would rule on a case. So what we try to do, I think most judicial candidates, is just get out to as many community events, organization events, charitable events, anything you can do, and just try to meet as many people as possible so that they can recognize your name, they can meet you, get a feel for you as your personality, your demeanor, your temperament, which I think are important things to do.
No, that sounds good. So, you have a regular job, I assume.
I do. I work as a lawyer for Jesse White, the Illinois Secretary of State, and I've worked for government, different state agencies for over 22 years, so I truly am a government servant. I really like working for government and always wanted to work for government.
Very good. So what exactly do you do for Jesse White's one of my favorite people, by the way.
He's a great man. He's a wonderful man. He's a good boss. Everybody likes him. I'm an administrative law judge on certain days, so we hear matters where people are trying to get their driver's license back after they've had a DUI. It could be underage individuals that are caught with fake IDs that are drinking. We also have, if you owe child support, your driver's license can be suspended until you get that situated. We have fraud issues where we might have multiple people having individuals having multiple driver's licenses or identification cards. And then the last area we do is accidents, where people didn't have insurance at the time of the accident.
So it's pretty well-rounded stuff.
It is, yeah.
Speaking of Jesse White, the one thing I do have to say is, whenever a politician's name's announced at a ball game, everybody boos except if it's Jesse White. He really is a cool guy. So are you like up and about every night, going from one event to another event to another event, or?
Pretty much, and it seems the cycle, everybody's been out early trying to get the name out there. So you do go to a lot of different events each evening, weekends, just trying to meet as many people as you can.
Yeah, now they changed the petition requirements this year for being judge.
Right, they increased the number of signatures, so now you need 1,000. In the previous years you needed 500 as the minimum. Now it's 1,000 for the minimum. You can only file 3,000 signatures, so they put a maximum amount on. And you can only file for one race now. Before, you used to be able to file for multiple races, wait till the withdrawal period, and then you would withdraw and then stay in one race.
Now, can you do one sub-circuit and one county-wide, or?
My understanding is you can. So, and there'll be a lot of candidates running. I think a lot of people are going to wait and see who might be in races before they decide what they're going to do.
Now, you've also been a big fan of community policing.
Absolutely, yes.
So, I think, are you still the chairman in 23, or?
I am. We have a steering committee in the 23rd District, and that committee actually does the fundraising because the police can't do the fundraising. So it's comprised of citizens, business members, organizational members. We do all the fundraising. We provide different events throughout the year. One thing we do is a holiday party for the underprivileged children, where we ask the local schools to give us the names and sex and age of the child, and we do a traditional holiday party for them. We give each child a present. We give them a hat, gloves, and some food items. We also buy bikes so that we can get more police out on the streets patrolling with the bikes, because the city has a tight budget and they only allow so much money for the bikes. We also pay for the maintenance because, again, the city has a limit on how much maintenance they do on the bikes, so we work on that. We work on National Night Out, which is always a big thing to get the community together. And we supplement the police department with whatever they need. For a while, a lot of the staff that were riding the bikes had to try to reach radios, so now we got them earpieces that they can actually be on the bike and riding and not have to be fumbling for all these radios. Some computer flash drives so that they can pretty much take that around wherever they go and have that. So we try to help out however we can.
Very cool. How often, just for those of you who watch the show know, but we're also very involved in community policing. Both Sonny Herschel's head of the 24th and myself. How often are your meetings now?
I actually live in the 19th district, and we have our CAPS meetings quarterly. I'm a beat facilitator for that particular beat where I live in. And then as far as the 23rd district, they're doing the same. They're having quarterly meetings there too.
Yeah, it's definitely tough without all the personnel, there's no question. We're very fortunate to have still have a monthly meeting other than December, but there's many people who don't like the way it was scheduled and times and all the rest of it. And see, from my standpoint, even though we might be getting some different faces, or we're still getting a good number of faces and more people are being exposed, so we're grateful for what we can get. At this point, would you like to give people your contact information?
Sure. My website is electdiannkmarsalek@gmail. Well, no, that's my email address. It's electdiannkmarsalek@gmail.com. And then my website is www.electdiannkmarsalek.com.
Diann Marsalek, thank you so much. And hopefully, there's still a long time before the election, so we will be in touch before
Great,
then.
wonderful.
Thank you, Diann. Thank you for being here.